Hello everyone, this is a video debating about child marriage. We're gonna smash all these American whores in this debate because Americans are the real sex offenders. Now, there are 5 states in the U.S., 2 countries where there is no minimum age limit for marriage. And in the U.S., I hear it's Washington, California, New Mexico, let's see here, Mississippi, and Oklahoma. The state where I'm moving to, Oklahoma, where there is no minimum age limit for marriage. There is a book called Fighting for Your Marriage, which talks about how to handle any hot topic. So it gives an example of a nuclear reactor. The whole idea of that is to generate heat, and if there is not enough heat generated, that defeats the whole purpose. The more that is at stake, the more structure and control that you'll need, and the less that is at stake, the less structure and control that you'll need. And if there is not enough structure and control, that can cause a nuclear core reactor meltdown, and it can take years to clean up the mess. Okay, so I was locked up in Michigan, then Montana, then Southern California, and then here in Salt Lake City. Had to learn to be competent to stand trial, as they called it in Michigan. I had to learn to be fit to proceed with trial, as they called it in Montana, and I forget what they called it in Southern California. Here in Salt Lake City, I was found competent with the crime I committed here, and I know so much about human chemistry. Most of those sayings you hear are counterbalanced. That one saying you hear, opposites attract, many times is not true when it comes to personality types. Now, if there's people from totally different cultures, maybe opposites will attract that time. But I know how to find a compatible mate. I know how to pick the right mate from the very get-go and keep the same mate forever. Never use her, never cheat on her, and never divorce her. I know how to keep my spirit stronger than my flesh so that I don't succumb to fleshly addictions. Okay? Now, I was taught this stuff when I was locked up. I learned that ways to keep your spirit stronger than your flesh is to do things that your flesh does not like. For instance, wake up early in the morning and then pray, read your Bible, and save all those fleshly things for at nighttime, like that nightlife, sleeping with your spouse, etc., etc., etc. I know so much in the world about how to make my trophy wife fit to proceed with marriage, even before she is even born. There is a book called Bond with Your Baby Before Birth, How to Communicate with your unborn child. That was written by Kim O'Neill. Okay, so even if you don't have similar compatible personalities, that don't always matter even at that, if you ask me. Because they say in the mental health field, if you have more insight into your mental disorder, you're more likely to recover from it, okay? As long as you have insight into each other's personalities, that helps right there, okay? So, when it comes to personalities, there's body types, blood types, personality types, learning styles, conversational styles. There's a book called The Color Codes. There's the Alpha, Beta, and Sigma personalities. There's the Dove, Peacock, Owl, and Eagle personalities. There's a book called Relationships 5.0. And there's zodiac signs. There's a book called The Ultimate Personality Guide. There's a book, it's about blood types. It's called Just My Type, or something to that effect. There's a book or books about finding the most compatible mate when it comes to blood types. Now you, I'm sure, can do a blood test on an unborn baby trophy wife girl. Don't quote me on that one, but now I've heard from sources, some will say that if a girl has sex before the age of 18, she'll age much faster. That may be the case between a vampire and a virgin, but I don't think that's the case between two vampires. Then there is a book called Emotional Infidelity. There is a book called Traits of a Lasting Marriage. Let's see here. What else? There is the subject of assertiveness. Assertiveness means to state any concern in a non-intimidating way, as opposed to being passive aggressive or passive aggressive. In that book, Traits of a Lasting Marriage, it'll tell you the number one best trait to make a marriage. You can either make or break a marriage. To make a marriage work, the best trait around is commitment. And I also heard from another source, another thing that is at the top of the list is communication. If you know how to get things off your chest assertively, which means in a non-intimidating way, then that's the ultimate communication right there. Now, I seen this one YouTube video called Going Through a Dopamine Detox. And it says that if you burn out your dopamine, you would want to take a break from whatever means you went through that burnt out your dopamine, whether it was through natural means or through drugs. And so if a girl indulges in if a young newborn baby girl that just got married to a 40-year-old virgin like me indulged in sex for numerous hours straight, she could still function as long as she took a break to let her dopamine build back up after that point. Okay, so there is a guy named Patrick G. Flanagan. He studied and duplicated the literal fountain of youth He taught dolphins a 35 word vocabulary, and I know you can teach a girl to talk as early as 1 year old or even sooner if you could teach dolphins how to communicate. Okay, so and I've heard on this one debate about child marriage, this one American said that if a girl has sex before age 18 and gets married before age 18, this will cause like psychological trauma to her. Okay, I don't agree with that stuff at all. Okay, because why is it that in other countries this is totally normal? This is totally normal, and young girls have sex and get married all the time and have sex all the time before the age of 18, and they're not psychologically traumatized and they can live a normal life. So is it the young girl below the age of 18 that has sex at that time? Is it her that would feel psychologically traumatized, or is it society that would make her feel that way? If you ask me, I think it's society. Okay, because anyways, this is a healthy debate about child marriage. We will smash any dumb motherfucking American idiot in the first fucking round in this debate in child marriage. I seen this one debating video about child marriage saying, yeah, this Muslim got out-debated by this American. I'm like, dude, that American didn't out-debate anyone, dude. That motherfucker's a punk. Osama called the West the corrupt West for a reason. You compare Massachusetts with the lowest divorce rates around to LA. You compare the West, that's within the corrupt West, compared to the East, like Massachusetts, and notice the difference between those areas. And the further away that you go from the Middle East, where Muslims are, the stupider people get regarding relationships. Okay, that's all for this video. We smashed those American whores, 304 whores, in the first round in this debate about child marriage. Can't nobody outdo me in this debate. Thank you so much. Bye for now.